ago, when I was working, a book was brought to my attention. Has anyone here heard of the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert T. Kiyosaki? We have one. 104. Yes, I found this book to be extremely eye-opening. And Mr. Kiyosaki suggests other titles, and thus started my journey of discovery, which I am still on today. Ever since I was a little girl, I had a dream. It was to be an at-home mom. And now that I'm married, I would like to give my husband that option as well. The strategy I have chosen to use to make this dream a reality is to build businesses. The steps that I've had to take is to update my education, change my thinking, gain skills, and learn to rely on others instead of doing everything myself. Today, I will share some of what I have learned, including identifying a definite purpose, setting goals, using psychology to my advantage, being positive, the importance of good communication, and the law of reciprocity. Through research, I found that the mind is all you need to create your own success. This is exciting to me because of the stumbling blocks that I've had during my life, and I have often felt helpless in the face of these challenges. I now know that I can follow my dreams. I now know that I can accomplish and surpass even my most far-reaching goals. The first strategies I'd like to talk about today are identifying a definite purpose and creating the plans or goals necessary to reach them. Napoleon Hill, the author of Think and Grow Rich, is a strong advocate for these strategies. Think and Grow Rich was first published during the Great Depression. Mr. Hill spent 20 years researching and interviewing both successful and unsuccessful individuals to create his philosophy of success. The first two things that Mr. Hill identifies for his philosophy is identifying a definite purpose. And it doesn't really matter what the purpose is, just so that you have somewhere that you are going to, something you believe in, a purpose for your life. And then also creating a plan for that achievement. And this plan is not set in stone. You know, our circumstances change, our goals and values change, and you can change the plan as necessary to reach these achievements. I found it interesting that of my classmates, 1/3 had career plans written down, 1/3 had them in mind, and 1/3 reported no specific career plans. In contrast, only 1/3 had life plans written or unwritten, and 2/3 had no specific life plans reported as per my questionnaire. Why is this interesting, you ask? I think it is interesting because it emphasizes the current values in our society. Our society values money and work versus happiness, family, friends, charity, and other potential positive values. So I ask you, are society's values your values, or do you value something more than money and work? What do you want to accomplish in your life? Teresa, you say, but why do I have to write them down? What is so important about writing them down? And that is because of the next two strategies. Using psychology to your advantage and being positive in your thoughts. By writing, you are physically acting on your plan. You are physically writing it, and when you physically read it, you are talking physically and hearing. And these actions instruct the subconscious mind on what you want. And then the subconscious mind will help you find the opportunities for the achievement of your plans and goals. Also, the physical action of writing, speaking, listening, and watching yourselves increases your belief and motivation to obtain these plans and purposes. This ties into psychology in the use of positive thinking and action in your life, because by thinking this way and increasing your belief and motivation, your life improves. The effects of positive assertion are found in the books by Napoleon Hill, but they're also found in another Depression-era author named Dale Carnegie. Dale Carnegie wrote the bestseller How to Win Friends and Influence People. It was the first of its kind book, focused on positive thought and positive communication in shaping individual success. Mr. Carnegie emphasizes that humans are creatures of selfishness and the importance of appealing to that individual's wants and needs to sway them, rather than to your own. Part of this strategy is having a positive and likable disposition and using appropriate thoughts, actions, and reactions to achieve your goals. When I handed in my outline, I was informed that I needed more stories. I needed some proof to back up what I'm saying. And I agree. And so I would like to give you an example of a story that shows where writing, the actual writing, is so important rather than keeping it in your head. I'm going to do a mini example. My identified purpose would be to get a good grade on my speech, to do a good job with my presentation in general, and then my supporting materials, etc. And when I got this assignment, I did some research. I wrote down my main points. I wrote down an introduction and a conclusion. I practiced the speech, talking, listening, figuring out where I needed gestures, where I needed to change my tone, etc. And I feel that I will be able to meet all the criteria of the speech by planning it out in this way. On the other hand, what if I hadn't done all this work? What if I had just had a general idea of what I wanted to say but didn't go find the supporting materials, didn't take the time to plan out how I was going to meet each point and criteria for the grade? What if I was flying by the seat of my pants? Well, a lot of us fly by the seat of our pants through life. Why not treat it like a speech or any other thing that we're doing and plan? The last point I want to draw from is Robert T. Kiyosaki's books. It's twofold, including Law of Reciprocity and Using the Skills of Others Instead of Relying Solely on Yourself. Mr. Kiyosaki both lost millions and made millions a few times over. He and his wife retired when their cash flow from passive income and investment income reached $10,000 a month, and they only had expenses of $3,000 a month. Now they spend time doing what they love, including advocating for financial literacy and helping thousands with the books and games they have created to teach the necessary skills to becoming financially free. Mr. Kiyosaki advocates that in order to succeed, you need to give. His books express that if you want to make money, you need to find a way to help the most people if possible. You might call it karma. You might call it the law of reciprocity. Mr. Kiyosaki teaches that giving, especially when it's hard, comes back tenfold. He also believes you should do nothing yourself that someone else can do better. We all only have 24 hours in our day, and he feels that you should spend your time on what's important to you and on what you find most meaningful. I have a story about this, actually. I have a sister named Wendy, who just happens to be in the audience. And as I have expressed before, I am somewhat computer illiterate and not particularly good at using the internet and other things. And my sister Wendy is. It takes me 3 to 4 hours to find the same thing that takes her 15 to 20 minutes to find. And then she'll call me up and say, hey, here's the web address you need, you know. And we have a trade system. I give her a massage. I'm a massage therapist. So I give her massages for her use of, or her finding stuff on the internet for me. And it's a win-win. We both are happy with the with the arrangements, and I don't spend 3-4 hours in utter frustration and never find what I'm looking for in the end. So we are both happy. And it is a great example of using other people's skills. She uses my massage and I use her computer ability. So I'm going to leave you with the fact again that your mind is the only thing you need to create your own success. Strategies like identifying a definite purpose, setting goals, using psychology, being positive, the importance of good communication, and using the law of reciprocity are tools that you too can use to train your mind and reach your goals. I'm going to leave you with a quote from a cereal box that I read when I want to say like 10 years old. And it has actually been disproved, but it is still true in the laws of success. The quote is this: "The bumblebee is aerodynamically should not be able to fly. But they don't know that, so they do it anyway." Like the figurative bumblebee, if you have a strong enough will, you will create your way. Thank you.
Yay!